Let me ask you something. When you think about what a man feels when he goes inside you, what's the first thought that comes to mind? For a lot of women, the answer is probably something like, oh, men just want sex. They feel physical release. That's it. And while, yes, the physical part is obvious, that's only scratching the surface. Because here's the truth for men, that moment isn't just about the body. It's layered with emotions, insecurities, and hidden needs that most men will never actually admit out loud. And if you understand those layers, you don't just become another physical experience to him, you become unforgettable. Think about it. Sex is easy to get, but the kind of sex that leaves a man thinking about you long after, the kind of intimacy that makes him feel bonded to you, that's rare. And that's what we're talking about today. Most women underestimate just how vulnerable men are in this moment. Because while he may look confident, playful, even a little cocky inside, there's a storm of feelings going on. He's wondering if he's enough, if he's pleasing you, if you're really with him or just physically there. And those thoughts can shape the entire experience for him. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 things a man really feels when he goes inside you. Some of these might surprise you. Some might confirm what you already suspected. But all of them will help you understand men on a level that most women never get to. Because once you see intimacy through his eyes, you'll know how to create not just pleasure, but connection, loyalty, and a kind of love he doesn't want to let go of. When a man goes inside you, one of the most powerful emotions he feels is validation. Now, I don't mean validation in the shallow sense, like his ego being boosted just because someone said yes to him. I'm talking about something much deeper. A kind of primal, almost subconscious confirmation that says, you are wanted, you are chosen, you are enough. And this is huge for men because no matter how confident they may appear on the outside, underneath, most men carry that same human fear of rejection, of not measuring up, of not being truly desired for who they are. Think about it from his perspective. Men live in a world where they are often expected to pursue, to impress, to perform, to prove their worth. Every date, every conversation, every attempt at flirting comes with the possibility of rejection. And rejection, whether a woman realizes it or not, hits hard. It chips away at his confidence. So when he finally gets to that moment of intimacy with you, what he's feeling isn't just physical pleasure. It's that deep sigh of relief that says, she wants me. She trusts me. She's letting me in. It's one of the rare times when he doesn't feel like he has to prove anything because your body language, your choice to let him in, is already proof that he's enough for you in that moment. Now, here's the interesting part. Men don't always admit this out loud. In fact, many men would laugh it off if you asked them directly. They might say, nah, it's just sex. It's no big deal. But inside it is a big deal. Being inside you is one of the clearest signals that he is accepted, that he is desired, and men crave that acceptance more than they'll ever show. This is why some men chase casual encounters, because each new conquest gives them a temporary hit of that validation. But notice I said temporary, because the truth is that kind of validation wears off quickly when it's not backed by genuine connection. It's like eating fast food. It fills you up for a moment, but you're empty again not long after. But when a man is with a woman he actually cares about, when there's chemistry, trust, and emotional connection, that validation goes 10 times deeper. It doesn't just tell him, she wants me tonight. It tells him, she chooses me. Out of everyone, she opens herself to me. And that has a way of bonding him to you, because it's rare for men to feel truly chosen. Think about how many men go through life feeling invisible, or like they constantly have to compete to be noticed. So when a woman allows herself to be vulnerable and intimate with him, it's not just physical, it's emotional reassurance at the deepest level. And here's the key for you: the way you express your desire for him during that moment matters. If you're fully present, if you're showing through your eyes, your touch, your body language that you actually want him, not just that you're tolerating him, he feels it instantly. That's the difference between sex that scratches an itch and sex that stays in his memory. When you communicate without words, I want you, I'm turned on by you, I'm letting you in because you make me feel alive, he feels powerful, masculine, and secure. And that security isn't arrogance, it's connection. It makes him associate intimacy with warmth and acceptance instead of pressure and performance. So remember this: for a man, intimacy is one of the rare times he gets to stop performing and simply feel wanted. And when you give him that, when you let him experience that depth of validation, you don't just give him pleasure, you give him peace. And that's what makes you unforgettable. When a man goes inside you, one of the things he feels most strongly, though he may never admit it, is vulnerability. Now, that might surprise you because most of us are used to seeing men project confidence, strength, and control, especially in the bedroom. He might act like he knows exactly what he's doing, like he's the one leading the moment, like everything is under control. But behind that exterior, in those first few moments, there's often a flood of self-doubt and raw emotion that he would never put into words. And here's the truth. That vulnerability is not weakness. It's a sign that what he's experiencing with you actually matters to him. You see, intimacy strips away a lot of the masks men wear in everyday life. In the world, a man might have to be tough at work, charming in public, competitive among his friends. But when he's inside you, he can't hide behind those roles. It's just him, skin against skin, heart racing, wondering if he's truly enough for you. And that's the part most women don't see. He might look like he's in control, but inside he's asking himself silent questions. Am I doing this right? Is she enjoying this? Does she find me attractive enough? Can I make her feel good? That inner dialogue is what makes him human, and it's why that moment is far more than just physical. And here's the part that will make you see things differently. The more a man cares about you, the more vulnerable he feels in that moment. If you were just a casual fling to him, he might not think twice about performance or connection. He might only be focused on release. But if you actually matter to him, if he wants to impress you, please you, and be remembered by you, then every little reaction from you matters. The way you touch him, the way you breathe, the way you look at him, it all either reassures him or makes him more insecure. That's why some men can seem overly concerned with whether or not you're satisfied, because your pleasure is tied to a sense of worth. Now, let me be clear, this doesn't mean you're responsible for all his insecurities or that you need to manage his ego, but it does mean that you have more power in that moment than you realize. A small gesture, like whispering that he feels good holding him closer, or even just being visibly present and responsive, can completely shift how safe he feels with you. And when a man feels safe in his vulnerability, something magical happens. He lets his guard down even more. That's when sex transforms from just an act into genuine intimacy. That's when he stops performing and starts connecting. But here's where a lot of women misinterpret men, because men often cover up that vulnerability with bravado, jokes, or a cool attitude. It's easy to think they don't care. Yet the truth is, those defenses are often hiding a very real fear of rejection. Imagine opening yourself up to someone in your rawest form and not knowing if they'll accept you. That's what a man feels when he's inside you. And if he feels judged, dismissed, or unwanted in that moment, he shuts down emotionally. But if he feels embraced, welcomed, and desired, he opens up further. And that's when real connection forms. So yes, men may not always admit it, but inside that strong exterior is a man who feels exposed when he goes inside you, and the ones who care about you feel it the most. That vulnerability is what makes intimacy so powerful. It's not just bodies connecting, it's souls dropping their guard, even for a moment. And when you understand that, you realize just how much power you have to make him feel safe enough to stay, not just physically, but emotionally. When a man goes inside you, what he feels is not limited to the physical sensation of your body. What he really feels, sometimes even more strongly, is your energy. And I don't just mean spiritual energy, I mean the emotional and psychological presence you bring to that moment. Because here's the truth, sex without presence is empty. It's like having a conversation with someone who's scrolling on their phone while you're talking. They might be there physically, but you don't feel heard, you don't feel seen. And you certainly don't feel connected. Intimacy works the same way. If you're not fully present, he feels it. Men are more sensitive than they let on. He notices whether your breathing syncs with his, whether your touch lingers like you actually want him there, or whether you're just going through the motions. He notices if your eyes are closed because you're lost in the moment with him, or because you're mentally somewhere else. And these subtle cues tell him everything he needs to know. If you're distracted, if you're not really there, even if you're physically engaged, it creates a silent wall between you. But when you're present, when your energy says, I'm here, I want you, I'm with you fully, that's when he feels truly alive inside you. Think about it this way, most men can get physical satisfaction anywhere. What they can't get everywhere is that electric feeling of connection, the sense that two people are completely in sync, like time stops and nothing else exists. That comes from energy. It comes from you letting him feel that he matters, that this isn't just about scratching an itch, but about creating an experience together. And trust me, when a man feels that kind of energy, he doesn't forget it. Long after the physical moment ends, he remembers how it felt to be seen by you. Here's what most women don't realize men can tell the difference between sex that's transactional and sex that's transformational. Transactional sex says, I'm doing this because I have to, because you want me to, or because it's expected. Transformational sex says, I'm here with you because I desire you. I'm enjoying you and I'm surrendering to this moment. And the difference is felt through energy, not technique. You don't need to perform. You don't need to act. You just need to show up fully. And the beautiful part is energy is contagious. If you're present, relaxed, and enjoying yourself, he feels safe to let go and be fully present too. But if you're tense, closed off, or distracted, he picks up on that and it makes him second guess himself. He might start wondering, is she not enjoying this? Am I doing something wrong? Is she comparing me to someone else? Suddenly, instead of being in the moment, he's in his head. And that takes away from the experience. This is why intimacy is so much more than a physical act. It's two people exchanging invisible signals, feelings, and presence. A man feels your enthusiasm, your passion, your softness, your surrender, and that's what makes him feel connected. He doesn't just want your body, he wants your presence. He wants to know that in that moment, he's the only one you're focused on, the only one who matters, and the only one you're letting in on that level. So when a man goes inside you, yes, he feels your body, but what imprints on him is your energy. That's what makes the difference between sex that fades from memory and sex that bonds him to you emotionally. Because energy is what lingers. Energy is what he carries with him after the lights go out. And energy is what keeps him coming back, craving more of you, not just the act. When a man goes inside you, what he feels is more than pleasure, more than desire. It's bonding. And this isn't just some romantic idea, it's biology. Our bodies are wired to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, during sex. Women release it more, but men release it too. And when that hormone kicks in, it changes everything. Suddenly, what might have started as passion becomes something that feels deeper, like a string tying him to you in ways he doesn't fully understand. And if there's already an emotional connection between you, that bond becomes even stronger. Here's the thing: most men don't go around admitting they want closeness, protection, or love. Society teaches men to act tough, independent, and unaffected. But the truth is, men crave connection just as much as women do. They just access it differently. And for many men, intimacy is one of the rare moments when they allow themselves to feel it. Going inside you, being that physically close, triggers something primal in him. It's as if his body is saying, this person is mine to protect, and I am hers to be close with. This is why sex can be dangerous when there's no emotional foundation, because even if he tells himself it's just casual, his body may still bond with you on some level. He might not consciously feel attached, but subconsciously something has shifted. For men who do care about you, though, that bonding is undeniable. They leave the experience not just satisfied, but closer to you, more protective of you, and more invested in you. Think about the times you've seen a man soften after intimacy. Maybe he holds you tighter. Maybe he kisses your forehead. Maybe he strokes your hair in silence. That's not random. It's his body processing the bond. He might not even realize why he feels closer to you, but it's happening. And for women, this is why it's so important to choose wisely who you let inside, because sex is not just about chemistry, it's about connection. If he's emotionally present, that bond builds trust, intimacy, and love. If he's not, it can leave you feeling empty while he walks away confused about why he doesn't feel fulfilled. And here's where you have more influence than you think. The way you engage with him in that moment either strengthens or weakens the bond. If you meet his vulnerability with presence, if you let him feel your energy, if you respond authentically, that bond becomes powerful. He doesn't just remember the act, he remembers the closeness, the safety, the sense that with you, he can let his guard down. That's rare for men. Most of the time, they're expected to be in control, to never show weakness, but intimacy gives them permission to soften. And when you hold space for that, it imprints on him. And this bonding effect is also why men often mistake lust for love, because in the heat of the moment, with the chemicals flowing and the closeness amplifying everything, it can feel like love. But love is proven outside the bedroom. What's real is when the bond he feels in intimacy is backed up by how he treats you afterward. With respect, effort and consistency. That's how you know the connection isn't just hormonal, it's emotional. So yes, when a man goes inside you, if he cares, he feels bonded. He may not put it into words, but his actions will show it. He'll hold you differently, look at you differently, and want to stay close even after the passion fades. That bond, if nurtured, is what transforms sex from a temporary high into a foundation for lasting connection. When a man goes inside you, one of the most powerful things he feels, whether he admits it or not, is the difference between lust and love. And here's the fascinating part. His body may respond the same way in both situations, but his heart and his mind know the difference. Lust is about satisfaction. Love is about fulfillment. Lust says, I want this for myself. Love says, I want this with you. And that difference changes how he experiences intimacy with you. With lust, the focus is narrow. He's thinking about his own pleasure, about the physical sensation, about the high of the moment. He might feel excited, driven, maybe even obsessive, but it's short-lived. When it's over, the feeling fades quickly and often he feels emptier than before. That's because lust on its own doesn't feed the soul. It only feeds the body. It's like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it's never enough. But when a man feels love, everything shifts. Going inside you isn't just an act, it's a merging. He's not just chasing a release, he's savoring connection. He's present, he's attentive, he's aware of you, not just your body, but your expressions, your sounds, your emotions. Love makes him slow down, love makes him linger. Love makes him want the experience to last, because it's not about reaching an end, it's about being inside a moment that feels infinite. In love, his pleasure comes as much from your pleasure as from his own. Seeing you enjoy it, feeling you respond to him, that amplifies everything. This is why, deep down, men know when sex is empty and when it's meaningful. They may not say it out loud because admitting it would mean acknowledging their own vulnerability. But they feel it. They feel the hollowness after lust. They feel the warmth after love. They feel the difference between a woman who gives them her body and a woman who gives them her presence, her trust, her openness. And once they've experienced that second kind, they can never fully go back to being satisfied with just lust. Now, here's the catch. Sometimes men confuse the two, the chemical rush of intimacy, dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline can trick a man into believing he's in love when really it's just lust amplified by biology. That's why some men say all the right things in the heat of the moment, only to pull away later. In that moment, the closeness feels like love, but love is proven outside the bedroom through consistency, care, and commitment. What's real is not just how he feels during sex, but how he treats you after. But when a man truly loves you, when he's emotionally invested, going inside you is the most powerful confirmation of that love. He doesn't just feel alive, he feels at home. It reassures him that he belongs with you, that this bond is worth protecting, that you're not just another experience, but the experience he doesn't want to lose. And that difference is everything. Lust may make him chase, but love makes him stay. Lust may make him want your body, but love makes him treasure your soul. Lust is fleeting, but love leaves an imprint that lasts long after the night is over. So yes, when a man goes inside you, he feels the difference. His body might crave lust, but his heart longs for love. And when you understand that, you stop worrying about competing with physical attraction and start focusing on building emotional connection. Because at the end of the day, any man can find lust, but love, real love, is what transforms intimacy into something unforgettable. So when you ask the question, how does a man really feel when he goes inside you? The answer is so much more than just physical. He feels validated because in that moment you've chosen him. He feels vulnerable because he's silently wondering if he's enough for you. He feels your energy because presence speaks louder than performance. He feels bonded because intimacy triggers closeness he can't ignore. And deep down, he feels the difference between lust and love. And that difference determines whether he just remembers the night or remembers you. And here's the most important part. You have far more influence in those moments than you realize, because intimacy is not just about technique. It's about presence, connection, and authenticity. When you show up with real desire, real energy, and real openness, you don't just give him an experience. You give him an imprint that stays with him long after. So my challenge to you is this: don't see intimacy as something you give away. See it as something you share. Don't settle for lust that fades. Create love that lasts. And don't forget, when you value yourself enough to bring your whole self into the experience, that's when a man values you too. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you want more real conversations about love, relationships, and intimacy. And share this with a friend who needs to hear the truth about how men really feel. Because once you understand a man on this level, you'll never settle for being just another body in his life. You'll become unforgettable